Hi there. I'm here to talk to you about the easiest way to turn this graphic organizer into a rough draft. Since we typed it in Google, it shouldn't take much to turn it into a rough draft. We just need to add a few things. So the first thing you want to do is log into Google Classroom and find your graphic organizer. I copied and pasted one randomly. I used Panes today. So come into your graphic organizer, highlight all the text, hit Control-C to copy, and then you are going to go back into Google Classroom where I have set up a category for the rough draft. I'm not going to use that for this demonstration purpose, but you're going to find the Google Classroom category for the rough draft, and then you are simply going to add a document and paste it in. I am just going to create one here in my normal drive. So come into your document, you're going to paste it in. My computer's thinking just a minute here. And then your text is pasted in here. So what you need to do is come in and you need to just go ahead and delete the headings, okay? So this one says introduction. That lets you know that all of this right here is one paragraph together. So let's delete this. And then we're going to delete the hook here. We're going to delete this category that says general statement here. And what we want to do is back everything up so it looks like one cohesive paragraph. Okay, so I have just one more little section here to get rid of. Oops. Okay, so once we have all of these deleted, so again, this one says body paragraph right here. And this is our topic sentence. Sorry, guys. The computer has a mind of its own today. So this topic sentence begins the next paragraph, okay? So once we have everything in here, we need to make sure it's formatted according to MLA guidelines. So the first thing we're going to do once we have all of those little headings and subheadings deleted is we are going to change the font to Times New Roman, and we are going to make it 12 point, and then we are going to double space it. That will be for the whole paper, okay? Make sure, too, everything is indented, one tab for each thing. So in the upper right-hand corner, you want to start by typing your name, Mrs. D for teacher's name, the class, which is honors, English 9, and then you're going to give the date. Now, be cognizant that we do dates differently here in the US than they do in other countries. So, for example, we do the day, the month, and then the year. Okay, I'm not sure why this is typing in bold here, so I'm going to unbold it, okay? And I'm also going to make sure that this is double spaced. Next, I need to give it a title. You want to come up with something kind of original, kind of fun that pertains to the topic of your paper, and then you want to make sure that's centered. And again, this should be in the same font as the rest of your paper, so make sure you're changing that to Times New Roman and 12 point. After you get all of your headings and subheadings removed and you change everything to 12 point Times New Roman and you double space it, the only thing you really need to do after that is add some transitions. Add some transitions and introduce our quotes here. So for example, this quote says, Right, but do you think I could face my children otherwise? You know what's going to happen as well as I do, Jack, and I hope and pray I can get Jem and Scout through it without bitterness and most of all, without catching Makeham's usual disease. Now, this quote is said by Atticus Finch in the book. Okay, so what we want to do is attribute that to the speaker so whoever's reading this paper knows which character from the book is saying this. So I'm going to put Atticus explains, and we want to make sure that we keep this verb of attribution in present tense. Just a reminder, I'm giving you this list again, but you should have it in your binder in the writing section. You have a whole list of verbs of attribution. And make sure you keep that verb of attribution in present tense, okay? And then we need to make sure we have a correct parenthetical citation and make sure we have a period after it. Now, we will talk about different ways to do quote integration, and I have a handout on that for you. So be cognizant. Are you just doing a traditional quote integration with the quote? Are you planning on partially quoting it? Do you have a long quote that requires some sort of block format? So make sure you're looking at your quote integration handout that I give you in class to make sure you're formatting your quotes properly. Additionally, you'll want to add some transitions. Look at the bottom of the transition list, and I gave you some tips on where to make sure you have some transitions. For example, a reasoning sentence is a really great place to add a transition that says Atticus is telling Uncle Jack why he took the case and why he wants to not let the children down. So let's start with a transition. It just kind of makes your paper flow from example to example, sentence to sentence, and paragraph to paragraph. I like the one essentially right here. So we're going to put essentially, Atticus is telling Uncle Jack why he took the case. So you see right here, it's a nice little transition that helps us move into this next sentence here. So that's what you need to add. You need to make sure that you have transitions with your topic sentences, with your lead-in sentences, with your reasoning sentences, and your wrap-up sentences. You also need to make sure that you have transitions throughout your introduction and conclusion. You also need to make sure, again, that you are introducing your quotes. Now, this is a nice long quote here. So we're going to get rid of the subheading. I'm going to back this up here. Okay, and since this is more than 4 typed lines, we can use that block format. So I might say, according to the article, and then I'm going to have a colon here. And then what I need to do here is highlight this quote right here. We're going to highlight all this text. And since it's more than 4 typed lines, we're going to indent that whole quote right here. Again, in block format with quotes, we can get rid of the quotation marks and make sure that the period comes before the citation. So again, that's all you really need to do for the rough draft. Make sure that you get rid of all the headings and subheadings. Change the font to 12-point Times New Roman font. Make sure you double space the paper. Make sure you integrate your quotes properly, add transitions throughout, and also make sure you have the correct heading and make sure you have a title. Okay, the last thing you're going to need to do to this document is add in your header in the upper right hand corner. So to do that, you go to Insert, you go to Page Number, and you select this first option right here. Okay, then all you need to do, and that will change the page number on each page automatically for you, you're going to type in your last name and hit the space bar. There is one more thing that you will need to do to this paper, and that is to add a works cited page, which I will put in another video for you.